Hey everybody, Luke Gordon here, and I'm back with another weight loss tip for you. And today we're talking about how to minimize and ultimately eliminate those food cravings. So chances are, if you're starting a new weight loss program or diet, you're going to be cutting out a lot of foods that you're used to eating. So that could be sweet foods, kind of junky foods, chips, fast food, for me, like chocolate, things like that are kind of your comfort foods. And so inevitably, if you're doing that, which kudos for you for doing that, you're going to have cravings. And so there's some tips I want to share with you that will help you just get through those and ultimately get rid of them. But I would say early on, especially the first 3 or 4 days when you're just starting out and hopefully on a really clean diet, you've taken out a lot of those processed foods, a lot of the sugars, the caffeine, stuff like that. You're going to have some rough moments, especially in the first 3 to 4 days where you really are craving those foods. So let's just talk about some simple tips to get you through those first 3 to 4 days, and then some tips that'll keep you in a better track for months on end. After those first initial hard period there. So the first thing you can do really is that if you know there's certain foods that you really have a hard time with cravings for, one of the easiest things you can do is just get rid of that food from your house completely. So for me, it's chocolate. I love dark chocolate covered almonds, stuff like that. If I don't want to eat that, and I know that I get cravings, for me it was always after dinner where I'm always visiting the pantry. The easiest thing I can do is I can go visit the pantry, and if the chocolate isn't there, I can't eat it. So that's one of the easiest things you can do is if you know you've got a weak spot for potato chips or whatever it may be, a certain type of candy or a drink, maybe a pop or something, just get rid of it out of the house. That'll at least buy you some time so that if you actually wanted that food or that drink, you'd have to go get it. And that will usually help you with one of those cravings. Another easy tip is that if you're not already doing it, is drink a lot of water throughout the day. Sometimes you'll get cravings because your stomach is empty and it starts grumbling at you. You're not necessarily hungry, but differentiating between a craving and hunger maybe isn't, in your wheelhouse yet. But just saying, okay, I'm craving this chocolate. Before I even consider that, I'm going to go have some water and just see if that helps me feel better. The other thing that you can do with water, which I'm about to make a video about water and some tricks there as well, or some tips with water consumption, is you can add lemon to your water with most weight loss programs. You certainly can with the 20/30 fast track that we do here at the clinic. And then I do a lot of herbal tea personally too. Just make sure it's a clean herbal tea. It doesn't have a bunch of weird additives or like processed artificial sweeteners and stuff like that. A lot of the teas that I'll do will have like a stevia for a sweetener, or it'll just be an herbal tea with no sweetener at all, and that'll help me get through cravings too. So at night, a lot of times, if I do want that, the chocolate covered almond or whatever, not just one, of course, but several of them, I'll make myself a cup of tea, herbal tea. The whole process of making the tea takes 10-15 minutes to boil the water, steep the tea. Usually by the time I'm done making the tea, I don't even necessarily want the tea, but I'll drink it anyways. Help me relax and go to bed. But then by then my craving will have basically passed. So that helps a lot too. The other suggestion that I make that'll help you with cravings is really get some good seasonings for your food. A lot of times you're starting a diet that's maybe a little bit more boring than you're used to. You don't have all those crazy artificial flavors and artificial sweeteners and all the junk they put in, crappy food. And so you want to get good with seasoning. Make sure you've got some good recipes. Make sure you know which seasonings you can use and which ones you can't use. Be careful if you go to the store and you get a seasoning blend that doesn't have like added sweetener or added milk products if you're avoiding milk on your diet, things like that. But lots of different seasoning combinations between the taco seasoning varieties versus like the Italian seasoning varieties and anywhere in between. So make sure you've got those at your disposal. And when in doubt, especially if you're eating kind of bland meat like chicken breasts and stuff, season the heck out of it. Get creative with your seasoning. Make sure you've got some good recipes. The other thing that we do on the 20/30 fast track program, which again, depending on which program you're doing, make sure this fits in line with your program. But people that are going through the 30-day program can do one Zevia drink a day, which is kind of like a flavored water sweetened with stevia, kind of like a LaCroix or something like that. But you can do like a sparkling water like that. You can do one of those a day on the program, and you can also do pure gum, which is like a xylitol-based gum. So there are some things like that if you can put those in, will help you with cravings as well. So depending on which plan you're doing, or if you're doing kind of your own thing, just make sure that you feel confident or comfortable with having like one of those drinks a day and a couple pieces of gum a day. That'll help with your cravings as well. So that should help you with the short-term cravings again. Longer term, the biggest thing I can tell you, and it actually helps with short-term cravings too, is really if you can really connect on a deep level with why you're trying to improve your health, why you're trying to lose weight, what is it that you're really going for. I talk about this in a video called Finding Your Thin, kind of finding your North Star, which I'll link up here if you haven't seen that one yet. It's a good one to go back to. But Finding Your Thin is basically like, what is it that you really want out of this program? Why are you trying to lose weight? Some of us, it is just the look, you want to look better, but a lot of us, it's like, well, I want more energy, I want to play with my kids, I want to be active. If you're an older adult, you want less joint pain, less aches and pains. If you're a post-menopausal woman, you want to get rid of some of those night flashes and hot sweats and things like that. So really start to focus on that too, and say, okay, it's not just about this food. This craving's a pain. I don't like it. It's uncomfortable. I don't like it, but it's temporary. If you can get through it, you're going to get that much closer to your ultimate goal, your why, your thin. The high notice is what it's called. So I won't go back into that. But really anchor yourself in that, and really immerse yourself into any lifestyle videos, books, CDs you have, audio, anything you can that's really positive, inspirational, that can really keep you focused on why you're doing what you're doing and pulling you forward, as opposed to trying to pull you backwards, which is what those cravings are doing. So longer term, that's your best strategy. Cravings do, of course, get easier. The longer you're able to stay away from that processed food, the less you will crave it. So just hang in there. I hope you're doing well. If you have a comment to add to this video, I would love to hear it. Please comment below. If you have any other advice for people who are trying to avoid cravings, please let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. And as always, if you want more information on the 2030 Fast Track, I'll leave that link in the notes as well. So there's your tip for today. I hope it helps, and thank you for watching.